It's a little bit funny, the feeling inside. It's Kelsey at the movies! Yay!
We went and saw the Rocketman, which is a musical about Elton John. Yeah, that's what it is. I don't think there's any more setup.
So yeah, I didn't really want to go see this movie, except
okay, we can say that, yeah.
that I like Elton John's music. I'm not like a huge Elton John fan, but I love music, and I can tell that I've always obviously known that Elton John is super talented. I love some of his best songs. I love.
Yeah.
The one I just sang is a good example. Or Daniel's a great song. He's got some really, really great songs on his hits.
Yeah.
And so, and I like musicals. So
like I would get like his greatest hits. I feel like this would be a similar situation.
To Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah. Kelsey got us tickets to go see Bruce Springsteen because we were kind of in this, it was years ago, in this thing of seeing like greats,
and
right?
we were rich back then. Rich! I mean, we sat pretty far away, but we were still rich.
And what we found is when we got to the concert, I was like, oh, we're not really Bruce Springsteen fans.
Well, and I mean, to add to that, we were more of Bruce Springsteen specific when he did that specific type of music. What was it called?
Well, he came out with a
the
folk
Cedar
music
Sessions. We
album,
loved that.
and really loved that album. And then, of course, he has some hits, right, that we like from over the years. But what we found in that concert is that, they're going to do new stuff, and we were like, man,
this is not for us.
This is not for us. So I feel like I'd probably be in the same boat as at an Elton John, unless he does all his greatest hits. Then I'd be, happy. But like,
yeah, I don't know where. I think I might. I feel like I might
like
Elton John a little more.
Well, I feel like he has more pop hits.
I just think there's more of a it's more. I think like Bruce Springsteen reminds me kind of a Bob Dylan, and that's a very specific style of like not the same. They're not the same, but I'm saying they're very specific. And Elton John. Yeah, maybe is more accessible to
the masses.
And I'm the masses, and I don't know. He thinks about love a lot. Also, identify a lot, according to this movie, to Elton John, feeling different and like being different than everybody, or feeling that way at least, and feeling unloved. And so after I watched this movie, I was like, I love Elton John.
Yeah.
I listen to his songs today, in fact.
And I also wasn't really drawn to see this movie, but for some reason, with movies that are biopics, I just don't want to see them, but when I do see them, I usually love them.
She loves movies.
I do love movies. So Kelsey, go wait or skip.
I want to say go see this movie. Like I don't know if it was a life-changing experience for me, except that I identified with the main character, but I do think like it was visually spectacular. I thought that the way the movie was made was awesome. I loved how it dealt with themes of recovery and really showed, I thought, just an awesome person who's very talented and special, but made him accessible to just your everyman. I liked it.
I'm going to say wait with a caveat, which is if you think that you really want to see it, like I would say visually, then you should like not wait and you should go see it at the theater. Otherwise, if you're not really like that drawn to it or whatever, then I guess I would just say wait. I don't know. I guess it's a hard one. Like
I feel like it's a good movie and you should go see it. And that's what I'm here to tell you. It's a good movie, go see it.
Okay, so I'm going to stick with wait, with just the one caveat. If you really want to, like you really love Elton John, then I think that you should go see it because visually they did like an excellent job.
Then explain me, Rachel, who didn't love Elton John. I mean, didn't really love.
You want to sing spoilers?
Said it looks like spoilers. Must be the spoilers in my eyes. Spoilers, my brother. It is. That's a good song too, Daniel.
You could do I'm Still Spoiling. For I'm Still Standing. I can't sing.
Well, I don't know what you're doing.
The song at the end.
I could do
I'm Still
Spoiler la spoiler la la. It's Lion King. He did the Lion King soundtrack too, by the way. I had that soundtrack, and it features both I'm talking about the original cartoon movie. It features both the like cartoon version singing and then also Elton John singing on the songs. Listen to the whole thing all the time, play basketball in my backyard.
So this movie opens up with a small group at a rehab center.
It opens up awesomely though.
So it's like a recovery
He walks
group.
in all decked out in his whatever, and it's like an angel almost. But then he walks into that recovery.
Well, it's actually a devil's costume, so yeah, an angel.
But he's got like wings. Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, it opened up with that. I knew very little about Elton John's life. I think anybody could have guessed that he struggled with addiction at some point in his life, just because he's a famous musician. you could get pretty good odds on that. But I didn't actually know that. So when it opened up with that, I was like, oh. And we have like been in recovery meetings and different things, so that kind of felt like a connection there.
I immediately connected with him because I was like, I qualify for all that too, Elton. Maybe a little more.
I want to say that I wish I would have looked this up, but the actor that
Taron Egerton, I don't know how to say his name.
Played Elton John did an excellent job, but I've known that he's a really good actor for quite some time.
I knew when he was a baby. Sorry.
And but he did an excellent job, and at the very end of the movie is when they showed like real pictures of Elton John, and then they switched to Elton John singing a song. And I was like, oh, so it really was this actor singing in the movie. Like, he sang the songs.
That was impressive to me because that's a risk, right? When you have a movie that's built for a fan base, to have somebody else sing the songs.
Yeah.
There's other movies in the past that have done that. Like, I think when Jennifer Lopez played Selena, they didn't have Jennifer Lopez sing, did they? Or did they?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up.
But
like, if I think about it, like,
I know for a fact that Richie Valens, who was played by Lou Diamond Phillips,
was
not sung by Richie Valens, because I've experienced that, and it's nothing like that.
Yeah, that. We did see a preview for a movie coming out in the fall about Judy Garland, who's going to be played by Renee Zellweger, and clearly Renee Zellweger was singing because Judy Garland is amazing. And so I think that is actually going to be a noticeable difference. But he did an excellent job, I think, playing the film. They did, the way the movie was made, I described it as surrealism. I don't know if that's the correct term.
Magical realism.
But it's how I describe this, which is like there were scenes and the way they did it that were kind of...
it kind of reminded me of Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
Not quite full-blown Moulin Rouge, but like maybe
but like had touches of it here and there. And then definitely they took, Elton John, I think he was the executive producer, he was involved and, signed off on this. It gave you like the overall like feeling of his life, but it wasn't historically, factually like accurate all the way down. So like there were some times where they played a song at a point in his life where it hadn't been written yet. Or in the movie, a specific example is that his real name is not Elton John. He gets the name Elton from a bandmate, like takes his name, and then he's sitting there in an office and sees a picture of the Beatles and zeroes in on John Lennon and says his name's Elton John. Well, that's not true.
Because he obviously would have picked Elton Ringo.
And so there were things like that, but I think what they did is they took like artistic license to really drive home how it felt to be Elton John and to have his life. And I thought they did a really excellent job with that.
Yeah, I think like it was really powerful for me to see the movie because Elton John, he struggled with his self-love and acceptance to the point where towards the end of the movie, he's rich and famous, obviously super talented, has like a awesome place in the world, and yet he says that he's never really like loved himself. And I found that really powerful and really connected to that. And it was neat to see on film them show all these things about him, how like they showed things how things really are. So like we kind of prop up celebrity culture and drugs and all that stuff that we say is fun, but what it turned into for him was an escape and difficulty and didn't make his life any better. And they showed that both, realities at the same time, kind of showed how it had an effect on him and how ultimately he had to come to find love and forgiveness and all that good stuff that we talk about, acceptance for himself and even acceptance for the life that he had that happened to him. A lot of things happened to him that were poor. He had parents that treated him this way or that way, or people that treated him this way or that way, and how he had to just accept those things, forgive those people, forgive himself, and just be himself and find happiness. And I found that really moving and just thought it was a really special movie. Yeah,
they did an excellent job with that recovery aspect because that's what, like a recovery from any kind of addiction or codependency or whatever it is centered on. And at the end of the movie, you come back to the small group circle where he's been kind of telling his life story. And I thought like they did a really great job where they had people from his life kind of walk in to the scene. And like when it's going to make me tear up. When his dad walks in, so part of like what you learn is finding your part in things when you carry around resentment. And so what he says to his dad is, I'm sorry because I tried to make you do something you were incapable of doing. Like his dad was incapable of loving him. And so that was his part, was spending his entire life trying to make someone love him who was never, and he carried that around. So like that might sound like crazy because like there is a revenge aspect in our culture that you hold on to grudges, but like it really only hurts you, and that's part of recovery is really letting go of all that.
Yeah, and that again hit like really personal for me, like knowing what it's like to strive for attention or love or whatever from other people, whether they're family or other people that could not or would not give that to me, and how detrimental it was to me as a human being to keep holding on. It was really what Elton was doing in the movie, and what other people like me who do that kind of thing is they're not accepting reality. They're not accepting the truth and just letting it be. That's why people love the Beatles song "Let It Be." You have to let it be and just let other people be other people, and not you know. There's no reason to jump through hoops for your dad or whoever else to try to get them to feel a certain way about you. That's not Kelsey's job. That's not Elton John's job. Elton John's job is to be Elton John, and he finally figured that out towards the end of the movie, and I think he's lived a good life since.
So the movie ends with a lot of,
I'm sorry, did I need to get off my soapbox?
Fan service.
I forgot I brought it.
And these type of movies where you get to see the picture of the actor up against the picture of the real life Elton John at the same time. And then we got to see, you know, Elton John's had 28 years of sobriety and talked a little bit about his life since then. So yeah, it was a really good movie, and they did a excellent job. And I always like when I see movies that deal with addiction and like they get it right with the recovery part and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, recovery is great.
Yes. What's also great is when you like, comment, and subscribe. So please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Guys, we live for your attention. And your... Wait, what?
Wait.
I'm just kidding. We do appreciate you liking, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. And we love going to see movies and then talking to you about them. So just come with us when we go to the movies. I mean, not physically. Just we'll keep you in our hearts, and then we'll bring our thoughts back.
Is it a biopic or a biopic?
I
don't know how to say those words, but
not a psyopic.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
It's not a cyclopic.
Yeah.
That's not a word.
Octopus. I don't. Now we're just saying words.